we're on. Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 6:45,
Testing 1, 2.
1.0. 2.0, call to order. 3.0, roll call. Mr. Huerta?
Here.
Ms. Gomez?
Here.
Ms. Lopez? Oops, sorry, Mr. Macarino? Mr. Vasquez?
Here.
And myself. Could we please stand for the flag salute?
We have our wonderful students lead us in the flag salute. You still remember, no? Yeah. All right, go for it. After you, whenever you're ready.
Ready?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Old folks, you have to wait for the old folks. We're slow. Okay. 4.0, adoption of the agenda. 4.1, adoption of agenda is requested as presented.
Move.
I move for a second, but I'd like to take 13.8 in closed session.
13.8, closed session. Second, John Vasquez, Alice Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. 5.0, consent calendar. 5.1, approval of regular board minutes, meeting minutes for April 18th, 2023.
Move.
John Vasquez,
Second.
Ruben Macarino. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain. 4. Oh. Right? 401. Okay, 5.2, approval of release warrants dated April 13th, 2023, in the amount of $312,929.16. April 27th, 2023, in the amount of $1,695,788.18.
Move.
John Vasquez, Alice Lopez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 6.0, awards presentations. 6.1, student board member report.
Good afternoon. This past week and the last week, many of our students have been AP testing, so we just want to wish them a very good luck. Moving on to sports, yesterday was our softball senior night, and our softball will be heading to playoffs. Our baseball also had a game yesterday where both JV and varsity came out with wins. Coming up, we have prom hosted by our junior class on May 20. We also have our farewell rally for seniors, and we can't forget about graduation. That's all we have for you today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a need for any translation? Traducción?
6.2, bus driver award recognition.
Good evening. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Pat Hunt, the Director of Maintenance Operations and Transportation. I would like to thank the transportation team for their dedication to the students of Farmersville. They do an amazing job every day transporting Farmersville Unified students to and from school each day, to their sports events and many other activity trips. The drivers are, well, Alfredo, you're a little late. I hope you're not that way on the buses. But I heard you missed some overtime tonight to make the event, so I appreciate that. Alfredo loves overtime, and he gave up a trip to be here tonight. So, anyway, the drivers are the best at what they do. The education requirement for a school bus driver is like 60 hours of initial training, and a lot of testing with DMV and CHP. They must also complete a minimum 10 hours of training each year by the state certified school bus instructor. I want to thank them for their service and commitment to the students. So if we could give a round of applause to the bus drivers. And I'd like to invite Mr. Alfredo Munoz up. I was able to attend the Tulare County Bus Drivers Award Banquet with several of the drivers a few weeks ago. And Alfredo got recognition for 27 years of service. He also got recognized by the California Highway Patrol for Tulare County Safe School Bus Driver of the Year Award. One is given each year. So I just want to say congratulations. Yep. Any words?
Working in this district, it's been part of my life here, and I'm very, very happy.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes, Sabrina, would you like to say anything?
Oh, I just want to say thank you, especially transporting the kids and to the sporting events. Sometimes you guys are the only fans in the stands when the parents can't make it, so we really appreciate that. I do.
I just want to add, thank you so much for all your work and years with Farmersville Unified, and it is a pleasure to have someone of your stature in that community that's from Farmersville. You represented us well. Apparently, it's recognized around the county, so thank you so much. It means a lot.
Alfredo, you have been here so long, and I bet you know not only these kids currently, but our kids as they were going through the school system too. And we have always been so proud that our bus drivers were like a second parent. Anywhere they went, we knew that they would be taken care of because your kids have been on that same bus too. So we really appreciate all the dedication that you have given to not only the district, but our children. Thank you.
I'm not sure if you remember, Alfredo, I think you were my bus driver when I was in school here. I don't remember now. Joke aside. Anyhow, I want to congratulate you for your services here and continue doing what you're doing. Okay, we're blessed to have you and the rest of the bus drivers here as well. Congratulations.
And we appreciate you. You know, we see you every day out there working. You know, my kids have counted on you for years, 20 years ago. Yeah, my son did get left one time. I think he left him at one job, but that's okay, right? And the accidents in the school district don't count in the county, so that's good too. No, just kidding. I really appreciate you, man. You're a good worker, good man. All right, I really appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, 6.3, Farmersville Community End Time Need of Recognition. What is that?
That is our. We can have a round of applause for our two principals who will be coming up from the junior high and Freedom.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Sanchez. I'm the principal at Farmersville Junior High School. This is Mr. Bob, principal at Freedom. And I can't express, especially after this, and I'm very thankful that our guys are here, our maintenance, because this is a part of you guys too. So in advance, thank you all so much for all you do. I will be calling one of you up here shortly to help us out with this. I'm just so proud to be from Farmersville. I'm always proud to be from Farmersville. You can ask anyone, but I'm super proud to be from Farmersville today because we wanted to take some time to talk about how we come together and when one of our family members is not doing all right. And with all due respect, I'm not going to go into details, but unfortunately, one of our family members here in town, not only through the district, an employee here, but a student here, went through some terrible hardship about a week ago, and they're still suffering from it. Thankfully, they mustered up the strength to come today so that we can show our appreciation and love for them. At Farmersville Junior High School, we've received so many different types of donations. that we have been communicating with the family with. And I have one of those here with me. Before that, I'll pass over to Mr. Baugh, if he would like to elaborate on that as well.
Yeah, and first I'd like to thank Mr. Sanchez for putting this together. I know he never likes any recognition, but I appreciate you doing this. And then it was the same, as being part of this Farmersville community, I really felt fantastic. Just seeing all the emails that went out, all the talk, all the community support, all this at my specific site, but then I know around the district too. It was really inspiring, and I'm very thankful to be part of this community. And thank you, Mr. Sanchez, for putting this together.
So to show a gesture of our appreciation to help my family, I'm going to ask Mr. R. Solis to come up here and present what him and his department were able to gather.
First of all, I want to thank Mr. Sanchez for getting the ball rolling with the donations and whatnot. And also, I'd like to thank my MOT brothers for coming through immensely with some very generous donations. And the word empathy comes to mind. And when there's a family in need, if we don't step up to the plate and help our own, then who will? So on behalf of the MOT department, I'd like to present a gift card to Wally World, to Walmart, for $500 to the Cruz family.
Ms. Cruz, would you be okay coming up?
Yeah.
I'm very thankful to be working. The district's the best, and I'm proud to work for this school district. And thank you guys for helping me out through this time. I appreciate it so much. I'm sorry.
Okay, 6.4, Farmersville High School guitar soloist presentation.
Well, my name is Brian Nelson, and it's very hard to come up here after that. First, I would also, I just have to thank you for all your service as well. You've taken my students on numerous trips, and I've always thought that our drivers are the first face students see when they come to our schools, and they're usually the last face. They're essentially how a student's day starts and ends when they come to Farmersville. So I believe you guys are the most important part of what we do, of our school. So, and I am very appreciative of all you guys. So always thank you guys so much for all you guys do. And stepping out to help the family, thank you guys so much. It's amazing. So it's hard to come up here after that, but I'm going to try to lighten the mood a little bit. If you don't know me, my name is Brian Nelson, or Mr. Nelson. I've returned this year. This would be my 13th year teaching. I've returned this year back in Farmersville, and I've been teaching guitar this year, and I've been incredibly blessed by our amazing students we've had this year. We are kind of rebuilding our guitar program, especially with the generous help of our school board and providing some great brand new instruments for what we've been doing. We have been rebuilding, and we've been very, very busy. The students kind of came to me mostly as beginners this year, and I don't think any of them had ever read actual music. And so we've kind of had this miraculous kind of just fun-filled first year of just learning and growing, and then at the same time trying to put together a concert while going over basics. And the students have really come so far. And so a couple things I would like to kind of bring up is, first, if you live in, in the modern century, I'm sure you guys have YouTube on your phone somewhere. So I do have to advertise our school district guitar YouTube page. If you are ever interested in how these guys sound and what they do, we capture a lot of what these guys are doing on the road, events they go to, and I would like to welcome you. All you have to do is search on YouTube, Farmersville Guitar, and there are quite a few videos of their performances, so you can see the whole group throughout the year. These guys have been incredibly amazing. Yeah, last Saturday, I'll go backwards here. Last Saturday, we took our students, we had, I think, 10. And when students go to music competitions, there's a specific rating system. And just think kind of like first place, second place, third place. I guess you can think of it like that. First is called a 1, and then second's called a 2. First is called a superior, and second is called an excellent. That's kind of how music is judged, even though it's pretty subjective. So our students went to COS Visalia, and they participated in a solo music festival. And at the solo music festival, they have to go and sit in front of a judge. They have to memorize a piece of music. And it can be quite nerve-wracking. And I'm proud to say that half of our students received a 1, and half of our students received a 2 in their first year reading music. And I'm going to go backwards. In April, we were invited to go play at Fresno City College. So I took the whole group, all the high schoolers, and that's about 36 of them. And we participated in this really cool event where all these guitar students from throughout the Central Valley, all these schools you wouldn't have ever thought that had guitar programs, are out there doing exactly what we're doing. It was kind of guitar dork heaven. It was amazing. So the highest score that they could get there, again, is called a superior. And our groups, we had the full group play. That was like one thing they graded. Then we had 2 soloists play. And I have our awards here, but I did kind of want to show them up here, I guess. All of them received superior ratings. All of our students received a 1 at that. And then I'm going to go way now to our first competition was in March something. That feels like 5 years ago now. But we went to Bakersfield, and they started this new thing. CMEA is a Central Section Music Educators Association, and they do these festivals for band, for choir, and for strings. And they also allow guitar players, guitar groups to come and participate in these. And it had been a while since I had done it. None of the students had ever participated in it. And they were adjudicated alongside of schools like La Jolla. Some of these big Visalia schools were there. And the judges, it's a flat, they compare you the same they would any other school. They don't treat any school any different. And just with 1 year of playing, these students, as a full group, they all received it's called not a superior, but it's where all 3 judges agree like that was the best that they would ever be able to hear that particular piece of music. So they call it a unanimous superior. And we thought it was pretty amazing. So I made sure we got a plaque for it this year. So they got a unanimous superior. And I made them all sign the back too, because it just looks so cool, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm not lying when I say these guys are good, and that's why I brought them here for you guys, so you guys can hear them a little bit today. I have 3 of our performers, and we do have our spring concert this Thursday night at 6:30 here at Freedom. So if you would like to hear more, trust me, you're going to want to be there to hear them this Thursday night. Where would be best if I put a chair so these guys could play, just right up front or up front? All right, and so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And our first performer will be Mr. Antonio Santos, and he's gonna be playing a piece of music from the classical period. It is actually an Italian piece of music, though it does have a Spanish sound. And please give Antonio a round of applause.
We can hear. We just need to be able to hear.
Somebody.
Yeah.
And as Antonio is getting set up, I would like to give a round of applause to Dr. Chavez, who was so gracious to let us purchase these new guitars these students have. So thank you, Dr. Chavez. Good job, Antonio.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Still getting nervous in here, huh? Our next performer is Jose Rubalcaba, and he is going to be performing a piece from Baroque Spain by a composer named Gaspar Sanz. And he also played this just last Saturday. And the piece is called Ruggiero. Abelino, would you like to introduce your piece? Or do you want me to do all the talking? Oh, okay.
I just first wanted to say, Alfredo, you know, I remember me as a kid, I'd always ride the blue bus or purple bus. I'd always try and say your name. I'm like, what's your name again? I just couldn't pronounce it, but, you know, you're my bus driver since I was a kid, so I thank you. But my piece is Lagrima by Francisco Tarrega. This is called Teardrop in Spanish. This is him missing his hometown. It's kind of like, it's sad, but at the moment there's like a light at the end of the tunnel. So it's like, it's sad, but it's joyful. Anyways, yeah.
And that would conclude us. And I do just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for supporting our guitar program here. It is a truly unique program that not a lot of schools do have. Lindsay, and there's a couple others out in the valley, but it really does reach a particular kind of student that wouldn't normally sign up for band and either choir. And it really does, it reaches a wide range of students. And our junior high alone has 46 kids enrolled in this program. So, and we're looking to really grow as we continue here. So, again, I just wanted to say thank you so much, everybody, for your support, and we hope to see you Thursday night. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say, Mr. Nelson, thank you, because I'm sure the students really appreciate all the extra effort and dedication that you put in to our program too. I mean, this young man couldn't say Alfredo when he was younger. Now he can pronounce the name of that song perfectly. So
That's what I was thinking.
thank you very much.
Sabrina? No?
How do they pick their pieces of what they're going to play?
I picked them. Well, actually, Abelino picked his. But the other two, you picked Rivero? You sure? Okay, all right. Jose says you picked his. And Antonio, you picked yours? All right, I guess I'm a liar. So they all picked theirs. Sometimes I'll see, like, you know, I studied this stuff in college, so I kind of know what piece will kind of fit their particular style with their hands and things. But so trying to think back here. So sometimes I'll just put the music in front of them. I'll just play around with it for 20 minutes and then figure out which one you like. And so, but the piece Abelino played is extremely famous. Like every student learns that piece. And I think Abelino, you probably heard it on YouTube or something. So yeah, it's a gorgeous piece. So, but most of the time, sometimes the students will come to me like, hey, this is the one I want to learn right here. I'm And I'll go, it's pretty advanced, but we'll give it a try. And sometimes that works out and doesn't, but other times we gotta like build up the, like scaffold, right? So we're building up the ability levels kind of throughout, I guess you could say, the levels of playing. So, yeah, it's sometimes they'll tell me what they want to do, and sometimes I'm like, this is what you got to do. I know it's going to work out. So, I'm sorry. Long answer to your
No, that was
question.
good. No, that's good.
Yeah,
Thank you. It's amazing and romantico.
Okay.
Let's give them another round of applause.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, boys.
That was nice.
Okay, 8.0, public comments. Members of the public may address the board on any agenda item or other item of interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board before or during the governing board's consideration of the item. The board is not able to discuss or take action on any item not appearing on the agenda. Pursuant to board policy, the board may limit individual comments to no more than 3 minutes and individual topics to 20 minutes. Please begin your comments by stating your name. Anybody?
Okay. At this time, we have no public comment. I don't have any
Okay.
cards.
All right. 8.1, superintendent's comments.
Yes. First of all, I wanted to say a big thank you to a lot of people, actually. To Alfredo, te voy a extrañar. Apenas nos conocimos, pero te voy a extrañar, brother. So any chance of you changing your mind, let me know. We'll talk. We'll get you a smaller bus. Not that you need a smaller bus. Maybe that was the wrong connotation, but I want to thank you for your service to our babies. So, gracias. I also want to thank our beautiful students who are here today, our seniors who are the leaders of tomorrow. Several of you I saw earlier this morning who gave your presentations in the economics class and Ms. Iñiguez class. So you guys were amazing. Everything that we do for you. And so we want to hear from you. And I say this every meeting because we need to know how we're doing. How I'm doing as a superintendent, how we're doing as principals, how we're doing as a school board, how we're doing as a district to serve you and to prepare you to be the leaders of tomorrow, because failure is not an option. So very important, yeah. I want to thank our wonderful team, our M&O team, our principals, our district staff. Thank you for maintaining and keeping all the balloons in the air. A lot of balloons that it takes to lift a school and a district, so thank you. I want to thank our parents. The parent engagement in this district, from my understanding, has been growing. And more parents are coming and more parents are speaking. And that's exactly what we want. Part of the goals that I've always had as a professional is to give our community a voice so they can speak, and we must listen and learn. And so we have a PK graduation. We had a couple already, but we have another one tomorrow at Freedom. We recently had our last forum for the year, and we were very well represented. We had a lot of parents that come. We want that only to continue to grow. And you're always invited back even after you graduate, because I know you're coming close to end of year activities, right? You know, grad night, graduation, all the things that you're going to be participating in. So take advantage. It only comes once in a lifetime. So aprovechense. And know that summer school, may not for you guys, but for your younger brothers and sisters and primos and cousins and neighbors, or maybe some random kid you see in the street, let them know that summer school starts on June 5th. So if they need to raise their scores, they need to get credits, they need to work on their reading and writing, have them come out June 5th through the 23rd for summer school. And yeah. And lastly, to our wonderful guitar players. You know, I know they left, pero they went to go practice, to continue to practice. But I think it's amazing. You have no idea. It's amazing how in 1 year they were able to dominate. And that only proves to me and reaffirms to me that we have such talented students. Each of you have tremendous amount of talents. And soon you'll find out what they are. Huh? So with that, Board President, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. 10.0, K through 8 issues. 10.1, approval of 2023 CAB conference for dual language teachers and principals at Hester Snowden Freedom on June 28th through the 30th, 2023 at the VEA Newport Beach, California.
Second.
Alice Lopez, John Vasquez. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 10.2, approval of field trip to Getting Center on May 23rd, 2023 in Los Angeles, California.
Second.
Alice Lopez, John Vasquez. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 10.3, approval of field trip to Island Water Park on May 26th, 2023 at Fresno, California.
Second.
Alice Lopez, John Vasquez. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 11.0, high school issues. 11.1, approval of healthcare summer camp on June 9th through the 11th, 2023 at Lake Miramont, California. Alice Lopez,
Second.
John Vasquez. Go ahead, Alice.
My only question is, the parents are absolutely notified and are aware that our staff will not be staying, correct?
That is my understanding. Ms. Coop, would you like to share more information regarding that particular trip?
The summer camp?
Yes. Parents know that completely that there will be no district staff, it'll just be the camp staff.
Yes, sir. So the field program is like a mini internship that some of our students have been going to. So this is an extension of that.
Okay, as long as the parents are just
Yeah,
totally
the parents are
aware.
aware. So we're just assisting transportation, so for parents that can't take their students to that actual camp, we're just assisting with the transportation, the liability, and all that information is in the packet, and then we're gonna be picking them up and bringing them back.
Okay, that sounds good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, motion by Alice, second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. 11.2, approval of state CATA conference on June 20th through the 29th, 2023, Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, California.
Second.
Alice Lopez, John Vasquez. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 11.3, approval of CTE and Ag Advisory Committees. Alice
Second.
Lopez, John
Second.
Vasquez. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 11.4, approval of Ag X briefcase training on June 24th through 25th, 2023 at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Second.
Alice Lopez, John Vasquez. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 11.5, approval of donations for wonderful company Charkeets Aid Foundation in Farmersville High School FFA program.
Move.
John Vasquez, Alice Lopez, all in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 11.6, approval of donations from various John Alvarez companies in Farmersville High School, general athletics.
Second.
Alice Lopez, John Vasquez, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4, and 1 abstention. 11.7, approval of donations for local stakeholders for the Deep Creek Academy.
Second.
Alice Lopez, John Vasquez, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. 12.1, agreement with the Big Brothers Big Sisters for 2023 through 2024. Alice Lopez. Ruben Macarino, any questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. 12.2, approval of agreement with California Teaching Fellows Foundation for Fresno State Summer University.
Move.
Second.
John Vasquez, Alice Lopez, all in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 12.3, approval of agreement with Dr. Jose Medina, Educational Solutions for in-person services.
Move.
Ruben Macarino,
Second with a question.
Alice Lopez. Alice, go ahead.
I guess questions. So these, dates designated, which he's already posted on his website, are solely for our district personnel, correct?
Yes.
And he was the closest and best that we could find, correct?
He is by far one of the best experts when it comes to dual language preparation of teachers.
That's what I
He's
want to know.
renowned, he's presented all over the place.
Okay.
Anyone else?
No.
Questions?
No.
He's very theatrical, too. I've seen a little bit of his work, so, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
He's not teaching to you.
I know it. But he's there. 12.4, approval of agreement with Dr. Jose Medina, Education Solutions for service remotely via Zoom. Separate contract.
Yes.
That's a set. Okay.
Move.
Second.
Alice, did you make a move?
I vote.
Alice Lopez, Sabrina Gomez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. Okay. 12.5, approval of CPM Farmersville High School 2-year extension.
Second.
Alice Lopez, Sabrina Gomez. I had a question. My question is this, explanation of why it has to come out of general funds?
Because it's a math program and all core curriculum has to come out of general fund.
Okay,
Has to be funded.
all in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 13.0, personnel. 13.1, approval of certificated personnel, item 13.1.1 through item 13.1.5. Alice Lopez,
Second.
Ruben Macarino. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 13.2, approval of classified personnel, item 13.2.1 through item 13.2.5. Alice Lopez,
Second.
Sabrina Gomez,
Yes, sir.
all in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 13.3, approval of extracurriculum activity coaching personnel, item 13.3.1 through item 13.3.2. Alice Lopez,
Second.
Sabrina Gomez, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. 13.4, personnel action report, information only. 13.5, approval of agency agreement between Tulare County Office of Education, new teachers and leadership development impact district interim program, and Farmersville Unified School District.
Move.
Ruben Macarino,
Second.
Sabrina Gomez, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. 13.6, approval of Farmersville Teachers Association, FDA, memorandum of understanding, MOU, regarding extended year summer programs. Alice Lopez,
Second.
John Vasquez, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. 13.7, approval of declaration of need 2023 through 2024. Alice Lopez.
Second.
John Vasquez, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. 13.8, approval, let's go into closed session. 13.9, approval of student-teacher program agreement between CSU, Fresno Kerman School of Education and Human Development Credential Program. Was that Alice? Yeah? Alice Lopez,
Second.
Ruben Macarino, all in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 14.0, board business. 14.1, consideration of any item any member of the board wishes to have on a future agenda or provide a written update. Sabrina?
Not at this time.
Ruben? Alice? John?
Nothing at this time.
Myself, I would like to, since we're at the beginning of the end of the year, a CTE report on the programs we have, students enrolled, certificates per pathway. Yeah? Okay, thank you. All right. 15.0, business services. 15.1, CSEA, public disclosure of tentative salary settlement agreement. Alice Lopez?
Second.
Ruben Macarino, all in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 15.2, ratification of surveying and engineering for the new property.
It's Pat's.
Move.
John Vasquez,
Second.
Sabrina Gomez, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. Ratification for survey and engineering for Farmersville Junior High School playground area.
Move.
Second question.
John Vasquez, Alice Lopez. Alice, your question?
Is there anything that can be done with what's being removed? Is it going to be donated? Is it going to be, I think I heard it couldn't be moved anywhere. Is that what I heard correctly? or-
That's correct.
Yeah.
When it's outdated, the best we could do would be to recycle it. So, the equipment's over 10 years old.
If I remember correctly, this is also those bars that they climb up really high. That's something that comes, our CTE program could use if we had one here. And we might think about getting something like that.
Is it finite and determined that they're gonna be destroyed, or can they be set aside and salvaged, and then we decide later how to use it?
I can provide an update, let me do some background information on that, just to make sure that we have safety portion taken care of.
If it can't be recycled, maybe we can check to see if that's a future need for our schools.
We make our teachers climb it or something, you know. That'll work.
Our board president would have to be first.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. 15.4, approval of CTL Incorporated to install the 15 horsepower ag pump at Hester School. Ruben?
Second.
John Vasquez, all in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 15.5, active net presentation. Yeah?
Good evening, everybody. I'm Daniel Fortnese with TCOE and creator of the ActiveNet program, which I'm going to give you a little presentation on. With me is Brianna Baki. She is my office manager and helps out a lot with the program. So I'll go through and be as fast with my time and respectful of yours. So here we go. So ActiveNet was created, started a few years ago. Started down this path. We got together law enforcement, all first responders, fire, emergency services from Kauai Hospital, and we asked them, they had a wish list, you know, what can we do for them? You know, what could we do for them to make our school safer? And they had a list of quite a few things. One of the things was a common map. When they go from one site to the next, they're finding it's confusing, right? Everyone's got a different site plan. It can be a bit of a mess. So that's where it began. So what I'm going to do here is kind of show you, let's see if this has audio or not. so before I get to that, I'm sorry. See if the audio comes through. Sorry, we'll give it a chance to test this out prior to.
Are you in a safe spot right now?
I think so.
Okay, we're getting a lot of help started, okay? We've had 2 other callers saying this as well. Are you hearing shots now?
No.
Okay.
But we're in the apartment closet.
Okay. Okay.
Jeff, I hear another shot.
You
I'm
did?
hearing more shots.
Okay. Okay.
We're upstairs by the art in the hallway.
You're upstairs by what hallway?
In the art room.
Art room.
Jeff, please hurry. I'm hearing you.
They're coming. They're coming.
And they sound kind of funny.
Just try. Okay. Try to stay quiet. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, just try it. Just try to stay quiet. We've got a lot of help coming to you. Okay. Do you feel safe to go into the next? Yes, ma'am. They're coming licensed.
So, we didn't play that with the intention of scaring anybody, but just to kind of bring it home. This is kind of typical of what comes in. Be some scattered information for law enforcement. Teachers scared, has minimal information. So, idea is what we wanted to do is create something to connect first responders to schools, sites, and their information. So, go through some of the core features of the program. A building ID, a digital map, link to cameras, campus and staff information, a roll call function, and a bulletin board function. So, at its core feature is the building ID. It's a foundation for navigating a campus. Think of it like Battleship or a chessboard. We use the alphanumeric system, right? So an alphanumeric system runs A to Z from left to right and 1 to 100 from front to back. And that's what we use to label our buildings on campus. So say, for instance, first responders never been to this particular school site. They show up, they're told to go to building 400. They've never been there, where's building 400? This is a rather small site, but at the same time, as you can tell, it's still kind of confusing. Or this the caller, the art room. Where's the art room? So if they were told building D5, law enforcement, no matter what, knows how to get to building D5. They can follow the buildings, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and find their way exponentially without an escort or sub-escort. So what we do is we have these building ID signs around on all 4 corners of the building in line of sight. So you can see these signs have various information, the direction that sign is on, whether it's on the north side, south side, the building ID number, as well as room information, like it's the office or library or rooms 20 to 26. This is an example of what that looks like. This is on Sundale's campus. So standing from this perspective, you would be able to know, if you've never been on Sundale's campus, I'm pretty sure you could find building C2 if you needed to from here. You just follow down D5, D4, D3, and over to C2. And that's kind of the standard of what we're going for. And this is a rendering of also a plan is to do this on the rooftops, because law enforcement now, they have drones, they have, in some of the bigger cities have helicopters, but this is another way to get that information. You can see there's a break in the building with the 2 parallel lines in the middle that lets law enforcement from above know there's a break between the buildings. And this brings us to the digital map, which is a multi-layered interactive map. And I'll go through all the different parts here, the cameras, the gates, points of interest, 360s, and the event markers. So at its root level, we have your floor plans. We take your floor plans, take your blueprints, scan them in, digitize them, and with it, law enforcement will have that ability to plan, be able to look inside of your building and see what's in there, if there's some sort of barricade situation or whatever that might be. From this plan, they can see where the doors are, whether they're solid doors, whether they're accessible glass doors, where the walls and so forth are. Gates, number of the gates. So starting at your main entrance begins gate 1 and goes in a clockwise fashion from there. They're labeled, not on the outside, but on the map. They're labeled so they would know whether it's pedestrian entry or for a vehicle entry. Points of interest, where are your shut-off valves, where's your nursing station, your AED equipment, maybe your roof access, where's your roof access on buildings. We'll have all that information on here for them. We go and take 360 photo sequences around your buildings on campus. This gives us an eye on the sky before, it gives a plan. So like say, for instance, maybe there's a fire, and maybe the fire department needs to come on and see what the roof looks like on top. So they can jump in, click on it, you zoom in, swing around. All this is recorded, but at the same time, it gives them a good sense of information. And that's from the sky. And then from the ground level, we have 360 lows. And what we do is we'll go and take 360-degree photos of every room on your campus. So if we need to, go in, click on it. This is a 360-degree photo, at which point we can look around, look at hardscapes. They can see that there's on the south side, there's a cabinet maybe somebody can hide in, and so forth. So this gives them more and more information about your buildings. From here, we go to event markers. Now, event markers is for law enforcement as well as staff on a campus. So any information is always good information. Now, we know staff, if it's an active shooter or whatever the situation might be, first things first to get safe. You know, we know we're realists. We know nobody's going to pull up an app and log into ActiveNet during a shooting situation or whatever that situation might be. Get safe, call 911 and so forth. But say, for instance, that teacher in that art room, she was lucky enough to get through to 911. Sometimes when things like this happen, you can have hundreds of calls coming in, 911, into 911. She may not have been able to get into there. But if she was injured or had a student that was injured, she could drag one of these pins to her location, and at least get that information out that way. So at least law enforcement would be able to see if she's injured or somebody's injured on that campus. So this is all, so we also have the different parts. I should have kind of went into the different markers we have. We have the active shooter, which says shooter, but it's really a threat. It doesn't have to be a gun. It could be any kind of threat. A threat is a threat. We have medical, so somebody that's injured, you know, we're not talking nosebleeds and scraped elbows, but a pretty severe injury here. And hazards, whether it's a suspicious backpack or maybe somebody saw somebody drop an object. Somebody sees it, they can drop a pin to that location. Safe zones come in with law enforcement. So once they clear rooms, so say in this one, they clear building A1, and in doing so, they say, hey, we have somebody injured here in A1, radio to dispatch. They clear A1, they clear A2, B1, B2, and so forth. Meanwhile, over D4 on the south side of campus, they have the suspect barricaded and so forth. Well, at that point, maybe it's a good plan to, with an escort from law enforcement, get paramedics in, get that person that's injured in A1 and get them some help. This is a good way to, you know, think of it as, you know, like a coach with a board, right? It's, when you can see it visually, it helps so much more than through the radio and trying to talk it out and figure it out. So law enforcement loves this part of it, and it's a great tool. We store all your information that we can. This is kind of standard information, site information, right? How big your site is, number of students, number of staff. Maybe your Wi-Fi password. Maybe law enforcement, for whatever reason, or any kind of first responder comes on, they don't have the greatest cell service. They can access your Wi-Fi and password. It's just another tool, again, giving them as much information as possible. Crisis duties. So who's in charge of what? So law enforcement wants to know who's in charge, who's the incident commander. So they can pull this up, pull up the incident commander, click on Mandy Smith here, get her picture, see her face, get her information, mobile number, her office number, where she might be, and call and be able to contact her. We also have procedures. Your procedures you have, whether it's for a fire, or active shooter, medical, whatever that might be. This is a slimmed down version, because we know those things can be like 80 pages long. This is an ideal way for staff to find this information, whether it's before an incident, during. We're broken up by before, during, and after. This kind of helps expedite finding that information in the time of need. We have your entire your entire staff roster, and what they do. We have them titled. Again, if I'm law enforcement, I need to find a custodian with keys. Type in custodian. I find a couple of them here. Click on Mario. I have, again, Mario's picture, Mario's information. I can call Mario, hopefully get some keys. Bulletin board function. So this is a one-way communication. This allows select law enforcement and site administrators to send out information to staff, to their primaries, to emergency contacts, as well as everybody if they needed to. First responders is a good tool for law enforcement. Dispatch, sometimes we know we've spoken with people that have had to deal with active shooters in various school sites, and the number of first responders that show up is ridiculous. So this is a way for them to maybe communicate with them as well, because they're not all necessarily on the same channel. So this kind of gives you an idea of what that might look like. So site staff, if I'm law enforcement, I type into there to my site staff, telling them, hey, we've neutralized the suspect and so forth. Again, just straightforward information. This also helps parents. Not everybody's on social media. I know we've had incidences at our school in Alpine Vista in Tulare, where there's been a lockdown situation. And parents don't know anything about it till maybe we read it on social media 3 hours later through the Tulare PD Facebook page. So this is a way for law enforcement to kind of get that information out to parents immediately. There's a roll call function. So this allows us to, teachers and staff, all staff, from teachers to maintenance staff and so forth, to account for students. We go through, if I'm Alex Mendez today, this is my roster. I pull up my roster, I go through, okay, I have Madeline, I mark her present. She shows up present on my, I'm sorry, I should come back to that. So you have the different categories. You have absent, that student wasn't there that day. I know she wasn't there that day, so I'll mark her as absent. Maybe she's injured. Again, this is a pretty severe injury, not a nosebleed. She's missing. She was in my class today, but now she's gone. She went out to the bathroom and went into lockdown. So I mark her as missing or present. They're here in my physical custody. I see them. I mark them as present. And the reconnect, which I'll go into in a minute. So again, mark Madeline as present, and so forth. So maybe at this time I'm doing, during this lockdown, the alarm goes off. When there's a student walking by my room, I grab her, pull her into my classroom, lock the door. She's some other teacher's student. So I grab her, get her name, type her in, Lily. All right, Lily, what's your last name? Lily. I find Lily on here. Check her in, mark her as present with me. So her teacher is Naomi Schmidt. So Naomi may have marked her as missing. Naomi doesn't know where she's at. But now that I've claimed her, Naomi will see that she is present with Alex Mendez. So Naomi is no longer worried about Lily. She knows she's in good hands with me. So that's another way of just kind of alleviating staff who are worrying about their students. And this works for everybody. So if you're a librarian, your maintenance staff, if you're the bus driver and you're off campus when something happens, you can claim your students. You can say, I'm off site, I have so-and-so and so-and-so. You can claim 30 students. And then when I set up, didn't do this, but when you set up roll call, you set up where you are at that time. So I say I'm on site or I'm off site, I'm in room 204 or whatever that might be. So that information is when I first log in. Then we go into, so also for admin, you have the ability to look at your entire student body. So if you want to go through, once everyone's checked in, this is, again, this is at the end of the day, right? This is at the end of the situation. We're checking the status of students. I have everybody that's present. We can begin the reconnect feature, reconnecting parents with, students with their parents. Go in, again, just like anything else, hit update, click on reconnect. Cassidy's there. I see Cassidy's ID. I verified Cassidy as Ashton's mother. Reconnect him with her. She signs her name, save, and then in doing so, the other emergency contacts are going to get a notification saying that Ashton is now safe with her mom, and so forth. And then that's just going through and connecting all those students with their parents and going through that. And that's the roll call feature of the program. What we do is we connect to you, if you have web-based cameras, this allows law enforcement to connect to your cameras. So that gives them that eye in the sky ability to communicate with forces on the ground. So they can pull up your cameras. What we'll do is we record the location of your cameras, the field of view of the cameras, and relabel them in a way that law enforcement would understand. So here's a sample of what a camera system looks like. You have multiple views. They're all labeled the same. So we've come up with a standard labeling for these cameras so that law enforcement, no matter what system they're tagging into, whether it's Farmersville School or one of the other county schools, the readings and the labeling is still the same. So that's the building number, which camera number it is, the direction that camera is facing, and a brief description. So if I see somebody in, say, this middle box right there in front of me, they're on the baseball field on the south side of E5. I don't even have to look at the map to know that's where that person is. But the idea is to combine the two. So law enforcement, dispatch, trained officers will pull up the camera map as well as your surveillance system. And in doing so, they have the ability to track a suspect or whatever, somebody injured, mark it on the map, and so forth. So we did a proof of concept of this a few years already, 2019, just to demonstrate how it worked. We learned some things that day, but it went really well. We ran it with the sheriff's department, dispatch. The first time they had seen the program, learned about the program, and we ran through it. So I'll play a little video for you, show you how that went. The top video, the top box is just kind of help you follow the action of what's happening. The two bottom screens were the interaction between myself and the dispatch officer. The green dot you'll see there, I don't know if you can see it, there's a green dot there. That's not part of the program, it just gives you a visual representation of where the suspect is on campus, or my finger on the screen as I'm following the suspect, and dispatch is calling out their location. Let's see how this
plays. All units respond to Kings River School District, 3961 Avenue 400, 3961 Avenue 400. Reports of an angry parent entering the main office armed with a handgun. No further description at this time. David 23 copy. Currently getting access to cameras. All units be advised the suspect is a white male wearing a red baseball cap. There appears to be a hostage. Negative. Suspect in motion appears to be in between building A and building B.
Copy 23. David 12 and David 15 en route, code 3.
10-4. Be advised, suspect appears to be carrying a black backpack, also armed with a pistol in his right hand.
10-4, do we have an update? I'm going to throw the main office now.
Suspect not in the main office. South of building B Boy, east of building H Henry.
799, I'm showing the lake. He's running southbound, south of multipurpose room.
Copy 1199. Suspect running south between building H Henry and E Edward.
Southbound search.
Copy. Running southbound search.
1199, just north of multipurpose room.
Copy. 1199 north of multipurpose room, building H. All units be advised. Suspect is hiding outside the southwest corner of the multipurpose room. White male suspect, red hat, white shirt, blue jeans with a handgun. Be advised, suspect taking a north direction of fire. North direction of fire.
I tell you, it's suspect south of building H.
Be advised, suspect appears to be down. Still has a firearm.
So that was proof of concept, and we did 4 different scenarios, with average time about just under 8 minutes. We had a barricade situation about 18 minutes, so then we had to bump the number up. But the impressive number was the 53 seconds. The apprehending law enforcement, once they got onto campus, was on the suspect in less than a minute. Traditionally, what happens for law enforcement when they go on campus, unless they're hearing gunfire or screams or have an audio direction where to go, they're going room by room, clearing building by building, which takes minutes and minutes and minutes. Kind of happened in Nashville. The law enforcement was clearing one room, one side of the building, and they heard gunshots, and that's how they determined where to find the suspect. So you can find them on camera. We can direct them. And that pretty much is the program in a nutshell. Gives you a good overall. Sorry, it was fast and going through that pretty quickly, but it gives you a good idea of what the program's all about. So, any thoughts, questions?
Sabrina?
So for the cameras that are on here, would they replace the cameras that we already have, or would they be added?
Reconnect to your camera. So whatever camera system you have, we integrate to that. So we're not the camera system, we're connecting to it. Correct, yes.
Login access. Training for staff, or what's the expectations of staff? How do they learn the system and how to utilize it?
Yeah, so we do a training. So we do a admin training, to teach admin about how to enter staff information, so forth, staff information. We do maybe it's about an hour training with staff, show them how to use the program, and we come back out for the drills. So the idea is you use the program and you use your drills, that way staff is constantly touching their phones, constantly touching the program and learning. And in doing so, anytime you do a fire drill, lockdown drill, whatever with our program, it all gets archived. So that all gets archived in the system. You have a track record of all your drills you've done.
Okay.
And when you do admin training, you do want for clerical, the people that are inserting or everything. You definitely want them to be present because they are going to be placing some of that as well, where they might be updating, as they're updating their, so when we say admin, it's gonna be the people that are gonna be existing school sites contacts for that school.
Okay. That's it for me for now.
Ruben?
Well, I was gonna ask if you actually had a real life situation or mock situation, just showed that. It's a great tool, it's unfortunate, but it's a great tool to have, yeah.
Yeah, and it works beyond law enforcement, right? I mean, an active shooter's the worst case scenario for it.
Right.
But you can use it for anything, fire, somebody's injured out on a field.
Yeah.
You drop an event pin, and even murder, somebody that might be having a heart attack, whatever that might be.
Yes, yeah.
Use it for that.
So we're looking at really time, going direct to the point of, whatever the disturbance or issue, whatever it is.
No questions, thank you.
So our answers now, response time to our campus is 30 seconds. So you're saying that you're gonna be quicker than that with this? Because it sounds like they're 911 and trying to get through a dispatch at the sheriff's department, right? Which is, and where's the sheriff's department at?
What's that, where the sheriff's department?
Yeah, where's it, is it in Orosi or Cutler? Where's it located?
Well,
Well,
you guys are, your Farmersville PD actually responds
Right,
to
right,
your
right.
guys' emergencies, but
Okay.
after hours, you guys have Tulare County Sheriff's
After
Office
hours?
dispatches. So they could potentially still be dispatching to Farmersville PD, but they would need to be a part of it just because their dispatch would be the ones that call after 5 p.m. But they would be the ones responding to you guys. And it doesn't replace 911, it's just aiding law enforcement agencies, EMS, services, fire, and having access to the right blueprints, full maps of the right campus, and helping that response time to actually, if there's a threat, get to that threat before there's more damage done.
And this is Tulare County Office of Education?
Correct.
What is the cost of this?
So we have a tier system, and you guys have several schools that fall under the tier 1, which runs about 6,000 per site. And then you have a couple of schools that also fall under our tier 2, which is 9,000 per site, with an annual maintenance fee of 2,400 per site
Wow.
every year. So you have your initial startup cost, and currently our tier system for Tulare County is significantly less than what we charge for outside of our county.
And then our service we have now is no charge for response time, because everybody comes, right?
Yeah,
We have an issue, everybody
It's just
comes.
giving them
Okay.
tools and resources
Yeah.
to help aid your students and
Yeah,
staff.
yeah. Okay, all right, thank you. Nothing else? Appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. 17.0, future meeting dates. 17.1, May 23rd, 2023, June 13, 2023, June 22nd, 2023, special board meeting at 6 p.m. 20.0, adjournment to closed session at 8:04. 20.1, conference with labor negotiation, GC 54957.6. It is the intention of the board to meet in closed session to review its position and to instruct its designated reps, agency designated representatives, Dr. Sergio Chavez, Jason Kraft, Manuel Mendez, name of organization, FTA, CSEA, management. 20.2, conference with legal counsel, anticipation litigation, government code section 54956.9, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision D of section 54956.9. 20.3, public employee discipline dismissal release complaint, government code 54957. And, okay. Closed session.
So at this time, we go to closed session. We'll come back out, but for our students, if you need to go, you can go ahead and go unless you have permission to stay. We will be coming back out when we're done from closed session, but only you know the arrangement you have for pickup and transportation. So we want to thank you for coming out. To all of our admin in the back, you're free to go. Jason, you just stay behind, and the rest can enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my legs are starting. I'm trying to go to the gym. I'm like, you know, like when you just start out.
Yes, and you're like, I'm doing so good. Next day
Next day, it's like a chicken, you know, worse.
Uh-huh.
9:37. Is that right?
27.
I'm sorry, 27. It's been a long day. 21.1, action taken on closed session items. 21.1, conference with labor negotiations, GC 54957.6. It is the intention of the board to meet in closed session to review the position and to instruct the designated reps, agency designated representatives, Dr. Chavez, Jason Kraft, Manuel Mendez, name of organization, FDA, CSEA, management. No action taken. 21.2, conference with legal counsel, anticipation litigation, government code section 549, 56.9, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision D of section 549, 56.9, no action taken. 21.3, public employee discipline, dismissal, release complaint, government code 54957, no action taken. Adjourning at
No, go to
Oops.
13.8.
13.8 will be tabled for the next board meeting. And we go to adjournment at 9:29.
Second.
Alice Lopez, Don Vasquez, all in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
5-0. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
And then, if we could, meeting's over, we're done. Okay, so if we could just discuss, Mr. Macarino mentioned the fact of possibly doing I don't know what you call it, a cap on the robes.
I just, thought nothing official, but, I went to a graduation once, in Southern California.